What you're seeing is not a joke. Wow, look at that. Hey, not bad for a lead noob. Welcome back everybody to the World's Worst Fishing. I'm your host Chris Jones. Happy New Year from me to you, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. So today's video is going to be pretty fun, and it'll be a little out of my comfort zone because we're going to be working with lead and sort of introducing a new jig mold from Angling AI Molds. And this project sort of has its story beginning in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, so what do we know about Detroit, right? Motor City, the birthplace of the American auto industry. What else do we think of? Motown Records. The Detroit Lions, right? Matt Stafford throwing bombs to Megatron, you know, years ago. So, but even more important than all of that stuff, of course, is the walleye run up the Detroit River. So every spring, I believe it is, there's, you know, this massive migration. Just, I think they've put the numbers in the millions of walleye migrate out of Lake Erie. And where do they go? Through the Detroit River. And apparently it's a big deal, obviously, being from Florida. I've never gotten to go. It sounds like an awesome time. And they heavily rely on the ability to jig vertically in current. And so that's what today's mold is all about. Let's unbox it and take a look. All right, let's give it a shot. Move this out of the way a little bit. There we go. So, looks like we have 3 molds here. I'm guessing in 3 different sizes, but we will find that out for sure. Okay, so right off the bat, this is very important to understand what hook works best with lead molds. It used to drive me crazy back when I you know, bought up a bunch of do-it stuff. I could never figure out what hooks to use and what would work, and you know, oh, I want a longer shank hook, right? So which one do I need now? So anyway, that right there is what AI is going to recommend for this mold. So let's get one out and take a look. There it is. The Angling AI Detroit River Walleye Jig. Okay, so here's 3/4 ounce. Here is 1 ounce. All right, we're getting serious. There again, I think they're vertically jigging in some serious current, and it's probably not shallow. Yeah. Wow. And here's the big one right there. Okay. Really awesome. Let's open one up and just take a quick look. Oh, massive. Massive. And the hook keep, as I call it, even though it doesn't keep the hook on, it technically keeps your bait on. But yeah, the hook keeper on this one is really something. All right, let's take a look at the 1 ounce. That's awesome. Can literally like fit my whole finger in it. Very cool. Alrighty, and last but not least, here is the 3/4. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. This is so out of my comfort zone that yeah, we're going to have a ball learning this thing together, and then we're going to show you the sooting trick with a candle, which is pretty amazing, can't lie. All right, so a big part of today's demonstration is going to be pouring the mold as is, okay? Room temperature, right? A lot of people can't, you know, do preheat them if they're having trouble getting the lead to pour and fill in, you know, the hook slot all the way, or the hook keeper all the way. But the part of the point of today's video is going to be showing you a little trick to get these molds to pour better and better, right? The candle sooting trick, because they did not put a super wide gate on these. And the reason why is because the bigger the gate, the harder it is to remove that piece cleanly without, you know, misshaping or adding mass to the actual jig head. And the narrow hook keeper, that's better for your plastic because it won't split your minnow heads or any other bait that you have on there. But the downside is it can be hard to get them to fill in. So we're going to show you a little trick to help you out with that. Okay, let's load one up, and again, this is sort of the size and style hook that you will want. So anyway, let's load up one of the molds here. This is actually the small one, if you can believe it, the 3/4 ounce. I can't believe how big these things are. This is awesome. Okay, so we'll load a few of these up and start the demonstration. So yeah, that's cool. A new mold is just a beautiful thing. Look how shiny it is. And now we're going to close this up and let the lead pot warm up just a little bit more. All right, and then we're going to start the show. So one little trick you can do is actually just rest, you know, your mold on top of the lead pot as it warms up, as sort of a, you know, way to preheat the mold. A lot of lead molds, just like we're pouring plastic, y'all. You know, temperature can be very important, and you know, a smaller lead mold that you maybe have trouble with when it's cold. Hey, why not preheat it just like we would on the hot plate for soft baits? Now, obviously, if you are a hand pour guy or do plastics and you have, you know, some sort of a more proper heating apparatus, then yeah, preheat them just like you would anything else. All right, let's run one. Looking good. What's amazing to me about lead every time, and there again, I don't do it much, is how fast it sets up. I'm used to waiting like an hour to let plastic cool down, you know. And another thing, which I'm not used to because I don't really ever pour lead this big, that mold got hot when you're dealing with that kind of lead volume. Plus, you know, it had been preheated. So, yeah, here we go. Let's pop her open. Not bad. Look at that. Little bit of boo-boo here and there. And this is sort of what we're hopefully going to show you how to fix today, right? A little bit didn't fill in. Actually, you know what? You can't really see that. Let me get the problem ones out and then show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we look here, right? Little bit of issues there with some of those. This one over here came out perfect. Okay, guess we just got lucky on that one. However, do we want to have to get lucky? Well, no, not of course, right? So you can see just a little bit of material not quite filling in all the way around those hook shanks. You know, you got to think the lead has to really get in some tight spots there, and thermally, you know, it's just more likely to sort of set up on you right there. However, even with a preheated mold, there's still maybe a better way. So we're gonna run another set of these and see if we did any better, right? But then we're gonna soot the mold. All right, round two. All right, our mold is a little warmer. We've already run lead through it once. We'll see if we have better results here on round two. Okay, so it looks like round two actually did a little bit better. This one, and this one look to be fully filled out. However, you can see this one did not fill in all the way. Neither did this one, right? So those are sort of our two bad apples. So if you want to reuse your lead, right, on a failed pour, right, just get you some pliers and literally dunk this back down in your lead pot while the lead's hot, and shoot, it'll come right off. You'll have a clean hook. You can reuse the hook even. So yeah, looks like these did really well. All right, so still not a perfect run on the mold, but you know, all things kind of lined up there to give us 3 good ones. Okay. Now let's show you the candle trick, see if we can do better. Okay, let's light her up. Well, okay, here we go. Yes, that's real. What you are seeing is not a joke. Wow. I would have never thought. Never, ever thought. And it doesn't take long. And here's the cool part. You don't have to keep doing this. This will last a long time, right? A lot of lead can go through this before you have to rechar it, okay? Oh, can't believe that it looks terrible, not gonna lie, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Do you want to make good leads or not? So this is it, guys. I am not kidding. I am not kidding. So we'll just show you the one half here. You know, we're gonna do it to both sides. Obviously, we want to get a nice burn on the inside of both sides of the cavity. Okay, there it is, y'all. This is not a joke. We're gonna close up and get ready to pour. Man, that almost felt like sinning. I don't know how else to put it. Let's try it with the soot. Here we go. Looking pretty good so far. All right, pouring nice there, looking real good. And yeah, that black smudge is where I accidentally like nicked my glove onto the lead pot. So those things get hot. It literally melted a piece of the glove off. So always be careful doing this, folks. All right, first pour in using the soot method on World's Worst Fishing. Gotta give it a drum roll. So here we go. Let's see how we did. Maybe try to get a little closer in for the reveal. Okay. How did we do? Make sure it's gonna pop loose. Yeah. Well, would you look at that? 5 for 5, y'all. What? No way. Okay. All right, I'm a believer. I am a believer. I am a total noob at lead, guys. And that just went 5 for 5 easily. Like, no question. Look at that. Beautiful. Nice, even fill, right? We don't have, you know, any real dimples from, you know, because sometimes, especially when you're real new to lead like I am, I'm very inexperienced. If you pour your lead a little bit cold, right, you can kind of notice a rough texture. This right here filled out really well, so let's just get one out and show you. Wow. There it is. Wow. I mean, I almost thought Josh was kidding when he called me and said, hey, I need you to do this on camera. I was like, what? Wow, okay. I'm a believer. Not only did they all fill in, especially, you know, the hook keeps where things get real narrow, but they filled in super clean, very smooth edges, right? Those are going to make excellent, you know, color coats. They're not textured or anything like that. There's no little pieces that didn't fill in. That's really cool. Y'all, that's amazing. I'm sure I'm not the first person to ever show this, but hey, it's a first for me. And real quick, because I know Josh will be watching this video, got to show off my latest set of creepy crawlers. Yeah, some 10-inch hand-poured copperheads in the AI 10-inch ribbon-tail worm mold. So I know how much Josh loves snakes, so I didn't want to pass up an opportunity to let him see them. But don't worry, they don't bite. All right, everybody, we're going to take our jig off the heat gun here. And real quick, let's get things going. All right, so quick little dunk in there. Then we're going to sprinkle on some siren scales just on the top while it's still hot, and then on the bottom some hollow shift. Bring it back over to the heat gun just to set everything up, which I know is off camera, and then we'll dunk it in some water. Very nice. Hey, not bad for a lead noob. Really cool playing with some of my favorite soft plastic, effects in something so different for me. Really nice there. All right, y'all know what time it is. You really didn't think I wasn't going to make a soft bait, did you? Here we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Sort of ran some tracer shads to match it. And this is the 3.5 inch tracer. It's a little small for this, but not too bad there. Really cool. If I can do it as a noob, you can do it and probably do it better. Alrighty. Well, there is sort of the finished product there. And, one of my good friends, Pete Pappas, big shout out to him for kind of helping me along, just sort of coaching me up on lead. Big thanks to Josh and Angling AI for sending these molds down and trusting me to do this video, even though I am not the lead guy. And, Pete said, Pete and Josh have both told me just how big a presentation like this is on that Detroit River. And, apparently I have no idea how deadly this is. So, really awesome stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed something new and a little trick to help out your lead molds. And of course, wanted to show y'all the other sizes. So I guess we can arrange them in smallest to largest. How about that? How about we just do that? Yeah. Right, so there's the 3/4 ounce, there's the ounce, and there's the 1.25 ounces. Big stuff there. You know what? They'll look better once I cut the gates off. So yeah, there we are. The 3 different sizes all next to each other. And yep, these drink. So make sure your lee pot is full of lead because you're gonna need it. But it's really interesting, how something like this is used. This is way different than Florida fishing. That deep, strong river current, open jig, right? That's very different from the shallow, weedy lakes that I fish. Matted up with lily pads and vegetation, or full of stumps, or sometimes both. So yeah, this is really cool to just see a whole other world of terminal tackle. It's really fun for me to get to sort of be a part of something that is so foreign to me in terms of tackle. So yeah, there it is. Awesome molds, pour great, and you know what? The soot technique will get you pretty much great pours every time. Really fun kind of combination video today. Not only do we have a new mold to feature, but also a really neat hack or a trick to help you not only pour this mold with better success, but any lead mold. This has been a fun video. Again, I hope everybody had a really great Christmas and Happy New Year from me to you. Big thanks to Josh and the crew at AI again for trusting me to do this video. This is really not my thing, so they're putting a lot of faith in me to not only showcase a new mold and a mold that is not made for fishing where I am, but not only that, to show a new little trick, a hack, and it's not new obviously, but it's new to me, it's new to my channel, and it may be new to some of you guys. The sooting the mold, burning it with a candle, right? That really blew my mind, and then to see it work so good or so well was even more crazy. That is absolutely just that completely made my day to see that work. So yeah, really exciting stuff. The Detroit River Walleye Jig Mold. How about that? And you know what? I already can see how I can use this. Happy Jack and I, we go fishing for stripers down at the dam, and really strong current, really strong tail race, and we're all the time having to put egg sinkers on our line to get enough weight. That 1 ouncer might actually be what I need, because we like to throw big flukes at those stripers, and we got to get them down in that current. So I might actually be able to find a way to use these despite being like 1,000 miles from the Detroit River. So with that said, I'll link the mold down in the comments below. And hey, a new mold, a new technique, a new little trick. I love it. See you guys in the next video.